I tell people all the time, you can meet someone and not work with them. Like, I don't know why there's such a need or a thought process that because I meet this person, I have to work with them. It's not true. You can be a fly on the wall. You can learn different skills from being around people that's not in the field that you're in so that you can expand. If I'm in a room with a high profile person and there's people around them and they're talking, I've had high profile people stop talking, stop being interviewed, or stop interacting with what they were doing at the moment and said, oh, my niece is here, and just came to me. And that's when I knew I had some sort of communicational value, which is very important. That social emotional value. Not even just a skill set, just she's here. And when I started saying that, I was like, And then the second was when I started training people. I just knew when I trained them and I saw it happening to them, I was like,
welcome to the Strategy Room podcast, and I'm excited. I'm with a very special guest, Vinrelo, here with us today. Yeah. And you know, this is what we do. We do behind the scenes strategies of smart business, and we got a great guest today. So I'm gonna do you some justice.
okay.
You know? All right. So Vinrelo is a celebrity stylist and branding expert with proven influence across fashion, entertainment, and major brands. She has curated New York Fashion Week runway shows, mentored models that's featured on hit television shows and films, collaborated with Fortune 500 companies on campaigns, private meetings with major music executives, and hosted events and production for BET Awards weekend, and established deep credibility behind the scenes of high-profile cultural moments. She leads a system-driven, high-performance ecosystem headquartered in Wall Street, New York, built for real-world execution and scale. Her platform spans concierge services, hospitality, fashion tourism, stylists, development, behind-the-scenes media, and the Brand on a Budget network, bridging brands, talent, and culture with rare access. Vinrelo is bilingual in American Sign Language and a recognized fashion mentor and a City Council Citation Award recipient for her industry and community impact. Welcome, Vinrelo. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for having. Sound pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely want to say though, commercial. I'm a commercial stylist.
Commercial stylist. There you go.
Stylist.
There you go. There's a big difference.
It is a huge one.
Yeah. All right. So, what is the difference between commercial stylist and regular stylist?
Yeah. So there's all different categories: celebrity, e-commerce, wardrobe, commercial. I could go on and on. There's a huge category of stylists. So I am in the commercial realm, which means I do brands, brand activations, visual conceptualization inside of stores, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. You know, we've been able to connect over the last couple years, and you know, one of the things that I'm most fascinated with is your ability to connect with people really well. I know one of the things you always say is you don't like the word networking, but you like building relationships, right? Yes. There's a big difference between the two. So let's kind of start off there, because that's one of the things that you say a lot. And anybody who's in your circle or know you, like, that's one of the things you like.
Please,
right?
All
right. So what is your difference? What is the difference to you between networking and building relationships?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think I'm more so in the tier category of collaboration, affiliation, you know, affiliates, cohorts. I'm in that type of category terminology. And so there's nothing wrong with networking. I'm going to say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. However, there's different types of networking. And I think a lot of times, whether it is online, offline, social media, or in person, a lot of people reference networking in terms of just the initial meeting of a person and taking a resource. You know, I could do for you, you could do for me, what we could do for each other. But I mean, the word networking in itself, I mean, even if we break that down, there's 3 different types of networking. There's operational, strategic, and personal networking. And that we could just break down even more. So that's why when I hear the term and I hear how it's used, I know for sure that's not what they mean.
Right. Now, one of the things that that you also another word you like is real world, right? Like real world experience, right? And I'm gonna tell you, real world, what I've experienced when it comes to the difference between networking and building relationships. So this is what I've seen you do, not what I heard, not what I think you do. We've been out to many events together and have done projects together,
and outside of our area too.
Outside of our area,
the cultural difference, so.
Right? That's a fact. And so what I see as the difference is when people are networking is how many business cards I can get. Right? It's how many numbers can I collect? They go in a room and it's they just trying to go in and just meet as many people as possible or get as many numbers as possible. But how many times have you got a phone number or got many phone numbers and didn't reach out to them? I know that was me. Or how many times, vice versa, you've given your number out to so many people, but do you ever hear back from those people? I don't have it anymore, but I remember I would go to these events because me, I was that networker. Like I am in between like a introvert and extrovert. Like I could be both. I could sit in a corner and do work and not talk to a single person, or I can be out at events and I could talk to a lot of people. And before I really understood building relationships, I had binders, and many people know this. I had binders, and if you ever did this, you know you have binders and you put people's cards in it. And but I'm telling you, I have not spoken. Yourself, so I have. I know. I am. I forgot. Some. You know what I mean?
I don't know about the binders, so I heard.
For everybody, right. So everybody, you know. So if you're millennial or older, you might you might understand. What I'm
heard about it.
but that's how it was though. You know what I mean? Before we went digital. And but that never really manifested itself into anything that was fruitful.
Any business owner has a stack of cards, and it's like we could play games with those cards. Like
right, exactly, right. We're about to play some spades, right? What's going on? So building relationships though is a completely different beast. I've seen you go into rooms and just connect with a few people, but you know, whether I'm with you or I'm looking over across the room, you guys are laughing, joking, you connected with personal things and not just that day. Right. I've seen follow-up emails go out. I've seen them same people show up at other events. I've seen collaboration happen. I've seen people become clients. I've seen it didn't just end in the room. And that's where I really, when I see you that's one of your superpowers, whether you know it or not, is really connected with people, right? It really is. Like, it's not about the quantity of people. It's really about connecting with somebody on a personal and professional level, and making yourself memorable.
Yeah, I mean, that goes to the type of networking. You know, it's like, what category are you going for? Are you going for that personal, that strategic, which is most people go for, or operationals? You know, like I tell people all the time, you can meet someone and not work with them. Like, I don't know why there's such a need or a thought process that because I meet this person, I have to work with them. It's not true at all. You can be a fly on the wall. You can learn different skills from being around people that's not in the field that you're in, so that you can expand. And that in itself is like a informal way of networking, of expanding. You know, we go for the straight, I have to, it's like, no, it's not true. And there's certain skill sets. I mean, with networking, you have to have social and emotional skills. And if you don't have that, you can't read cues. You can't read, You can't read those things to even know, when is it appropriate to ask someone's information, yet alone their number, just their information. When is it appropriate? Even, observing who they're with. There's so many things that goes along with that it's like, to even just go in and just say I'm a network, it's like, do you even know who's going to be there, the environment, the feel? Because as a business professional, if I've worked a long day and now I'm going to an event, I don't expect to be pitched to. I don't expect to, come in and now have to put my thinking brain back on, or my work brain. But I'm just coming to enjoy the ambiance from a long day's work.
Where did you get this from? Did this come initially? Did you learn this in the fashion world when you were starting there? Did you've been doing branding? I mean, you touch in a few different fields.
I know.
Like where did you
That's the
start to
commercial
understand
world.
these things? Okay, so tell me about the commercial world. How did you get into that, and how did you start to learn some of these strategies?
So I started in fashion. I started in the retail space, going up the ladder into team management, project management, going to different stores and different locations and observing different areas. So that in itself is just a people skills thing, right? So now going up to corporate, and then now fast forward, I'm with my own brand. I never started a company. I started a brand. That makes a difference.
Okay.
And I say that because that's how I learned. Because I never came into, I'm Vinrelo and this is what I do. Never. And you could attest to that. Anyone around me can attest to. It's barely ever that I say what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the power of knowing how to network.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you know we on a strategy room, so you got to give up some sauce. You got to give a little bit of sauce up. I know you charge for this, but you got to hold it down.
I know, I do.
Where did you get that from? How did you learn that?
You gotta be a fly on the wall. No one's bigger than the program, as many say. No one. I don't care how experienced you are. There's always going to be someone that does something different than you. There's always something to learn in every room you go in. There's always a new challenge. There's always problems to problem shoot, critical thinking. So you're always going to learn naturally, and be a student. And so once I started learning how to, and the best way I can explain it without giving my tools away, once I learned how to flip the script that you become of value to a person that has more value than you, then I learned what it took to get to that level with them, that one-on-one. They're here, and not in a bad way. They're here because you're established, and you're here, but you speak as if you're here. So I train people to where by the time I'm done training you, you leave the room, that person is going to say to you, Terrell, let me get your number. You're not going to say, oh, yeah, let's exchange. You're not. I guarantee it because I know how to do it, and it works. It's worked on every person that I worked with, and not in a bad way. It's not like a sneaky thing. It's presenting the value, and I'm a straight shooter. I'm 100%.
What was your first experience where you realized, like, oh wow, this person, because that's really true, because you know what's so crazy? You know, I mean, and I think we all have that, if you've been in business for any length of time, you've been in business for almost 20 years in your craft, me at this point, probably 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah.
And so for me, what I realized is anybody who's been in business for a while, you've had conversations with people who are more established.
Yes.
And you've had people that's been interested. And sometimes it might take you back. You might, well, I didn't really know. But you learn something from that, and you might say, okay, well, what did I do differently? What did I communicate differently?
Yes.
What was an experience that you've had that really had you realize that? I know you have many of them, but what was?
I want to say there's so many. I mean, I can only just generalize it and say if I'm in a room with a high profile person and there's people around them and they're talking, I've had high profile people stop talking, stop being interviewed, or stop interacting with what they were doing at the moment and said, oh, my niece is here, and just came to me. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew I had some sort of communicational value, which is very important, that social emotional value. Not even just a skill set, just she's here. And when I started seeing that, I was like, And then the second was when I started training people. I just knew when I trained them and I saw it happening to them, I was like, I knew it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, without giving away my tools, it's a training. It comes with, like, I got to keep saying it, social emotional skills, leadership, effectiveness. It comes with that. You got to know how to read the room. You could be in it, but if you don't know how to read it, that's going to be a problem.
All right, give an example. So like if somebody said, this thing to you, you say, okay, I know this is the game that they playing, or this is the level they operate in.
Yeah.
How do you, what would be an example of you knowing how to communicate with that person so they know you're a person of high value as well?
Contact information. Contact information. Yo, let's exchange Instagrams. Yeah, I'm a DM you. I don't think I come off as a DM person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing, again, but for the field of what I do and what I'm in, I don't give that energy. So I don't expect it. So when it's given to me, I don't respond with that. And that's some of the training I used to do when I was in that field in corporate fashion.
Mm-hmm.
If a person responded in a way where they think that I would respond back. Mm-hmm. Tone, eye contact, choosing my words wisely. And then they would, okay, no problem. Still give me the same. 2-3 times I answer, and every time I just keep shooting it back until they realize, oh, okay.
There you go. And by the way, what's key, you still being your authentic self. Mm-hmm. You're what you're doing is you're choosing to highlight specific things that's going to be appealing to the person you're talking to. And that, and again, I've seen it. So I'm gonna give a very specific example, because I know I've been around where, and all right, so I've been around situations where, okay, let me give an example. That's what I was talking about. So an example would be, let's say you're talking to somebody and they have a team. Let's keep it simple. They have a team, right? And they're talking about, hey, I have my team, my executive team, this person on my team, that person on my team, right? So if you're talking to somebody that have a team, okay, one, they're serious about their business, right? They probably got some things going on, because if somebody's working with you or for you, you obviously have something that you have some kind of motion, something going on, right? So, I've seen it to where you had conversations like, yeah, my team, which we are a team, right? We are an organization, you know what I mean? But being able to have that conversation back, right? So I think for the folks watching, it's like, if there's a way, if you communicating with somebody, you can kind of say, okay, well, how can I match that energy while still being real, being truthful, being authentic? You know what I mean? In communicating in that way, in addition to, like you said, the tone and things of that nature as well.
Because it's like, you can't have a conversation with someone that has a team and you don't. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, not saying that you can't, but you have to be respectful. You have to be observant of that fact. And, if they say, oh, I'm gonna hit you. Oh, no problem. Send us an email. Send us so I'm directing you to an operational system. And that's showing you that if you use that system, you're going to get the best quality from me. But if you're trying to jump the systems that work, that I use with my other high clients, then I will be doing you a disservice to just skip all those, you know what I mean, steps, to just be like, oh yeah, sure, just hit me. It's like, it's like, once you get to a space where you are in a pocket and you're very good at what you do, and mind you, I would say too, one thing about me is I've done it so much over time, it just became muscle memory. So I could be tired, I could be walk into a room at like 10%. I still, in my core, know what to say, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Even when I'm tired. Hey, you know what? I know how to get around. I apologize. Yes, long day. Can we let's follow up? What's you have LinkedIn? Do you use LinkedIn? There's so many ways, not just hit me on this, hit me on that. You know what I mean? Do you prefer? How do you prefer? There's so many tools.
Yeah, I love that. So, all right. So, I don't know if you remember this, you probably do. But how we met, right? So I did an event and in our PCS boot camp, right? So what's so funny is I'm speaking at the event, right? And you were connected to actually one of the people that was speaking at the event. And but I just keep seeing this lady in the back looking, around, and I'm like, first of all, I know everybody who bought tickets. I don't know who this lady is right here. But you looking in the back, whatever. I'm like, cool. So then now it's over. I'm talking to everybody, taking pictures or whatever. And I see you kind of standing around, and then you come up, hey, my name is Vinrelo, commercial stylist, da da da. So you're saying all these things, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Now at the time, right? Because a lot of my audience has been coaches, consultants, people in the expert field. So I didn't immediately see how we were going to connect at that point in time. But I'm like, she's doing things, and anybody, if you working, if you great at what you do, if you do, I believe at some point we can connect, or I can refer you, or we can do something together at some point. Which also goes to the point that you said earlier in terms of.
Can we touch base on that referral networking? Oh my God.
Yeah. So put a tab in that. So that goes to the point where at that time, I don't really know if we knew how we were going to connect, but it was just like, all right, cool. Like we know we both doing our thing in our field. Maybe something will happen. So we ended up exchanging numbers, and so we kind of still working, doing our thing. We didn't come together to do anything yet. Then we saw each other at the Small Business Expo. Remember that?
Yes.
We did this. So we kind of just bumped into each other like, oh, what's up? What's going on? And then I remember at that event. Now, mind you, this is again, we saw each other, and then now it's like, we having a conversation, just genuine conversation, and then you mentioned that, I got an event, and I'm potentially looking for some speakers. I'm like, hey, I would love to come speak. And it just so happened that you had that event. It was coming up, and it was on something that I feel like I had expertise in that I could speak on. And then from there, we started to connect more and do way more projects together. But that just goes to show you about the building relationship aspect of it, right? It's like, it's not forced.
There was still more conversations in between. It wasn't just.
Yeah, it wasn't just that.
My event.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is sometimes it don't happen, it doesn't manifest, but you build the relationship, and then you kind of see what, as projects happen and things develop, where we can come together. So, that's what it looks like in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I want to ask you about a couple of people that I know that you've met and that and how'd you end up meeting them? Just because I want to make it so people kind of get different ideas.
Okay.
All right. So, we had a meeting. with Luda's manager, Jay Dixon. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to Jay Dixon. Shout out to Jay Dixon.
That's the guy.
So, how did you end up connecting or meeting with him? Because I mean, you got a big time person to come out and say, hey, let's privately meet. So that's a big deal. Build a relationship. So, how did that happen?
So on the music side, being a songwriter for quite some time with ASCAP, and our 90s R&B is what I write as well. And I started in that a while ago, so it's not like I'm jumping careers, but I had a couple of parallel career paths. And so I was with Famous, who is, we write together, Writer's Block, and he is, if Tony Sons, so Mr. Tony Braxton. And so he was SOBs and opening, and he was performing. So we were backstage, met a couple of people backstage, and one of the celebrity photographers, he was like, one of the celebrity photographers, he's like, you gotta come meet someone. So, I was like, oh, okay, Famous was performing. And then once he's done performing, the crowd's everywhere. We're trying to get through the crowd, take photos and everything. And he's like, wait here. And he goes and gets him and his business partner. And then he brings them to me. And he's like, you have to meet her. You have to meet her. This is what she does. And, Jay gave us our flowers, Famous and I, for such a great night and a great set. And, some other notable people that was there. And we just had a genuine conversation, and we knew a couple of same people. So, I mean, that's kind of how it is. We knew a couple of same people. And then he said, want to swing by your office? And he did. So,
come on. And that's part of, people seeing the value again, because nobody, especially at that stature, is gonna invest their time in that kind of way unless they feel like, you know, it's gonna be mutual, or you also have value to provide too. You know what I mean? So that's really
but not
key.
even just I would say not even just value. That the value part is okay. That's great, but can humanize the field, can humanize the skill set, can humanize the craft. And I say that because in the last 10 years, it's been dehumanized. So bringing that element back of this person seems credible, they seem sensible, they seem reasonable, they seem knowledgeable. I think all of those elements naturally gravitate you towards having another conversation with them versus just like straight work mode. You know what? I might, you know, this person might be all right to be around with in the music industry. You know, just that. I would say that as well. Because I've never worked with Jay. You're just cool.
Right. There you go. You know, I love it. I love it. Okay. We did a collaboration event at Old Navy. I think it was for like the kids. It was a kid situation, right? You know, most people would love to do a collaboration, you know, at a you know, with a major brand.
Yes.
So how did that happen?
So that was Chanel Brooks.
Shout out to Chanel.
Yes, Lucky Ladybug. So she does a lot of community work. And she does a lot of brands as well, and knows how to connect with them. Auntie Anne's, you know, Old Navy, a lot of different brands. And so she contacted me and she said, I have this project and I think you're like perfect for it, for you, what you do. And so I said, well, what do you want to do? She said, it's kids. I'm like, this doesn't matter. I can do anything. So we settled at doing a hospitality drink experience for the kids and naming the drinks. And, you know, I utilized one of the models in my program for it. And I named the drinks and we did some advertisement and they loved it.
And let's not forget, it was a drink that you are what do you call it? Is it a brand affiliate?
Yeah, it would be more so affiliation.
Affiliation, yeah.
Yeah, Toast. So Toast is well known.
Yes. Shout out to Toast.
Yes, I've been with them for about 3 years now. And it's a great, you know, non-alcohol option for corporations or for small businesses looking to elevate their aesthetics during their events. So it tastes good.
Yeah. It's like a non-alcoholic champagne situation.
Yeah, it's like white tea. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, love it. Okay. All right, I got a couple more. Because this is interesting stuff, right?
Okay.
So, you know, I've seen you've had clips where you went out to events and you met. One clip I saw, you was speaking with Dapper Dan. Y'all look like y'all been best buds for like forever, right?
Dapper. Listen, Dapper,
shout out to Dapper Dan.
He always shows love to us, you know, those in the neighborhood and, you know, doing what we do. Anytime there's community work. So yes, Dapper. So we were speaking at Funk Master Flex funeral at the Apollo. And we were doing some interviews with World Star and, you know, we were talking on the side and I just happened to, you know, they caught that conversation. And so he was just telling me, just keep it up, you know, what I'm doing with the community, not even just in fashion, but I'm bringing elements of real world experience into the community. Mindset. I'm changing mindsets. I'm shifting. I shouldn't say changing. I'm shifting mindsets. For success. And, you know,
what's the difference between, because you made that distinction, so what's the difference between shifting and changing? I
feel like it's my thoughts to you, you know. Shifting could just be a perspective and it's up to you to decide if that's something you want to do. You know, all I can do is present it, so that's where the shift comes in from your point. I feel like change is more so this is what it is and this is what you have to conform to. But a shift is like, hey, you know, it's an overtime shift or change.
You know, that sounds similar to a concept that I teach. It's called identity shifting, right? And identity, you know, I've heard people talk about, you know, changing identities, but I don't really know if you change your identity, you know, because who you are is who you are. A lot of times, you know, when you're growing up, you know, you have certain ways about you, you have certain values about you. And, but I believe in identity shifting, which is you're becoming an elevated or a more developed version of yourself. You see what I'm saying? And
'cause it's always in you to go back.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can take the girl out of Queens, but you can't take the Queens out of the girl. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
Queens
fine.
get the money.
And that's fine. It's gonna have to be like that. It's fine. Like, I can't control that. Born and raised in Queens.
Shout out to Queens, by the way. I see y'all outside.
It's in my DNA.
I love it. I love it. Okay, okay. I got a couple more. Now you're like a honorary member of World Star Hip Hop. Like, you're like an honorary member. Like, you've done.
Honorary.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you must be like an unofficial member. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not unofficial. I am an.
Okay, well, you are actually an official member.
That's
okay.
like.
So you are okay. So you on the hip hop World Star Hip Hop media team.
Don't put that in there. Don't put that on right first.
Okay. Okay. All right. So can you talk about how you made the connection? Not paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So okay. So now let's talk about World Star, right? How did you connect? You know, because you got a lot of affiliation with World Star Hip Hop. So
yes.
How did you connect with them, especially through the media side?
Yeah. Oh man, that was super organic and unplanned. I've been with World Star about going on 2 strong years now, I would say. So we met at Summer Jam 2 Summer Jams ago, and connected with JR, talking.
Shout out to JR. Let's go.
And connected with him. And I mean, I already had pretty much established things for myself, and the magazine, My New York. And we already went.
Shout out to My New York.
Yeah, we went from 200K to 1.7 million in a year. So we were already, at our pivotal moment, and just things that I had. So we were just talking, and we just connected organically, and we seen each other at events, and then I had some key high events that like really impactful events that we were doing, and I just said, hey, listen, come to some of our stuff, and he loved it, and then we just kept doing some work together, and then over time he's like, I gotta get you, I gotta get you in, I gotta get you some, so we had a behind the scenes, real transparent moment about the brand, where it's going, what the intent of World Star is, even in connection with Hot 97, we spoke about that, and what we're bringing it up to it in terms of how my platforms can intersect and support the elevation of World Star. And so, we had that conversation, was stamped and sealed, and then ever since then for like 2 years straight. But as of recently, in the past few months, I've worn the World Star merch publicly, but no, we've done a lot of key projects, including mines in Atlanta. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but Summit.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
JR's been doing stuff with my brand as well, so yeah.
I love it. And you mentioned My New York. I like the little flex you threw out there. You know what I'm saying? We have a couple 100,000 or something millions. All right, so My New York. What is it for the folks who don't know? Ooh. And then also, how did you get that? Because that's a big deal. Like, working with My New York is a big deal. Yes. So how did you start partnering and working with them?
Oh man, so funny thing, I was doing a fashion campaign with 2 fashion models that were in agencies and on billboards at the time in Times Square. I forget at the time where we met, just because of all these stories, but they were on my platform. We were featured. We were doing a campaign in Times Square, in the height of Times Square, recording. I had my security out at the time, and it got featured in the magazine, and one of the models connected me with them, and they hit me on the side and was like, I love your work, what do you do, blah blah blah. And so I had more events that I was going to, so I was like, let's see how we could highlight some more stuff. And then pretty much from there, myself and Bussa, who's now my production.
Shout out to Bussa. Bussa Lens on the building.
He is my production manager. At the time, him and I were already building, so we were able to just come through and really with our events, and then their events really just come through and just lock in and jump from that 300 to 1 point something. I think it was 1.2, and then from 1.2, I don't know how we got to 7. Like it was just massive. So doing the BET red carpet and some other events. That was just the combination, and then officially becoming my New York 2 years ago. And then not only just doing that, doing some events for the mayor's office and the governor's. So now being on that vendor list, and it's just, so that's how all that. So yeah, I've been doing that, and now I have a column that many don't know. I have an official column on there, and my first 2026 feature was Carnegie Hall, with the Georgian ballet. So that was phenomenal. I was like, I want to go to it again. Yeah. So that's some backstory.
Yeah. Congratulations. Well, I mean, it's so much more, but I'm not gonna ask you. Anymore. It's so many more because we've been around each other for so long. So now it's like I can ask about some stuff.
What do I have in my face?
You have your shades.
Why do I have my shades on?
Because that is your brand.
Also, what else am I using? Why do I need them?
Well, one, because the brightness for your eyes, right? That's it. Right?
That's my money, right?
That's your money.
I gotta protect it, right?
Right. That's right.
So how serious do I take my brand or myself? It just happened to look like it's a thing for cool people. That's fine, but shades are also meant to protect your eyes. I wear prescription glasses. I'm on the screen all the time. I've been doing this close to 20 years. I can't even begin to express to you how many bright lights I've been under. There's no going back same thing as boxing. There's no going back. Once you've boxed with your hands for all those years. So now that there's only a certain way to maintain my eyes, this is the way that it's going to have to be. You know what I mean? So That's a strong indicator of how serious I take what I do.
Love it. Love it. All right, we're going to do one more. Between 1 and 10, and you can't choose 8.
No.
One more.
Let's go with 4.
We're going to go with 4?
Yep. Even numbers always.
All right, let's do it. Let's go. Hot hand. Let's go. All right, so number 4. So question number 4 says, how do you decide who is worth staying in touch with and who's just a quick hello? How do you decide who you're going to stay in touch with?
What they talk about, conversation, mindset. Your mindset tell me everything. That and how you interact with people. Because that tells me how you are when I'm not there. If you were to represent me. That's how I determine it. I gotta pay attention to what you talk about. If you're talking about we could work together so we could go to exclusive events, we could work together so we could get some money or bread, or we could do that. You can't promise me that. You can't. So why would you tell me that? You can't promise me that. Now you could promise me to show up your best self and to try to perform high level, so that we can get to the ideal clientele we want to get and get the ideal contracts we want to get. But you cannot just jump into something and meet someone and say, yeah, we're going to make this money. It's like, what? Like,
right. You just came up with the idea.
We don't even know what our operational systems. You could be a morning person. I could be a night person. You could be an email. I could be an email person. You could be a text person. You just said you call clients. I don't call clients. There's a way that I contact them, but it's not mainly through that. You know what I mean? It's mainly through other ways that I don't want to express. But I'm in a referral system. My brand is in the P2P world. So we don't even know operations to even say we gonna. You know what I mean? Let's open a restaurant. You gonna have peanut butter and jelly, and I'm gonna have steak. It's like, what? No, we should make something quick to go. No, we should make something for people to sit down and enjoy themselves. It's like, no. We gotta talk this out.
You're right. Because I've met many people that's like that. It's like they just trying to hurry up and do something, hurry up and do a partnership, but you don't know.
He's not answering the phone. He's not answering the emails.
Yeah.
No, duh, because you guys didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You don't even know if you work well together. You don't, how much money we need to put in. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, how quick you can tell, how much of a thinker somebody is, or how thorough they think through things by, how quick they just want to jump into something.
Oh, let's get on papers. Let's get on papers. Let's get a contract. Oh, contract? Yeah. Let's get on contract. We've contracted each other back and forth. I had a client yesterday tell me one thing that she appreciates about what I do is that I always document and I always create contracts for everything that we do. She's like, she said it doesn't build distrust, it builds credibility. And she feels more comfortable every single time. And I'm like, hey, these are deliverables under what we're doing. Oh, this is something else. Let me create a contract for this because this is a completely different. And she said she loves that because it's very clean, straight. This is what I'm paying for here. But if this is something we're deciding on here, it's not part of this amount. She likes that. And I agree. Stores have it, restaurant, right? If you pay for the meal, this is the meal. You want to do your add-ons and your sides. They don't say, oh, well, we'll just throw it in with the meal. They say, this is a separate list for the sides. And then, so why would we not follow that same system? So yeah, just things like that.
That is a bar. You said... But in regards to contract, I mean, but it's simple, but it's great. It's like it doesn't build distrust, it builds credibility.
Yes.
Ooh, I felt that.
Yes.
I felt that. Because sometimes people are afraid to go the legit way or have somebody fill out a contract or an agreement or because of that, it's like they'll try to just put they'll just try to hurry up and do something, but it'll cause way more problems on the back end.
Don't you sign a contract when you purchase a car? What would be the difference? Don't you sign a contract when you have a phone? You have a phone company contract. Everything has a system. We just pick and choose which ones we want to push or reject. When you go to a store, it's like a contract. It's a receipt, right? And on the back of the receipt, it's all those things. It's like a contract that tell you what the receipt can or cannot do, whether it's the 7 to 10 days or you cannot refund, whatever. And so there's a contract in everything that we do. When we purchase laptop and phones, there's always a contract in play. And these things protect what we have. They're not there to stop us from, shining. It's like, no, they actually make us look more credible. The more contracts you have, the more NDAs you have, incredible projects, the more you can say that you completed it to this degree, to this level of quality. Imagine doing a big contract and then say, oh, well, yeah, I didn't sign anything. Oh, man. And I want to get credit. How? And then the company says, oh, well, you can't go back and forth with them because you didn't sign a contract. And I believe in contracting people so that they can. I've contracted you guys for everything. Mm-hmm. Any work that you're including into the project, this is what you're doing, and this is the credit you're going to get onto your portfolio, onto your CV, and that is your responsibility. If it is not finished, you get whatever you completed. So people just don't want to be held accountable, but it's not hard. It's clear.
There you go. I love it. Well, listen, I think you did well. You gave some good gems today. I think you gave some good gems for the strategy room today. Okay. You know what I mean? So, once I really appreciate you for because again, I know you work with clients on the side, and these are things that you don't normally do. Maybe even outside of some of our master classes. Yeah. One of the dope things too is that you're gonna be a speaker at PCS boot camp. Yeah. So, so this is so I'm excited because this is where you're really gonna go in and give these gems so people could really understand how you've been able to do this. And to be real, I didn't even touch half the things. I could have asked you way more questions. I know way more people. We have too many conversations. I've been in rooms with high level people, and I've seen how you moved. I've seen how we moved in it, and so I know there's way more strategies and stuff we can go into that we can't go into specifically in this podcast, but we will be able to go into it
because it do work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because we left one room and then let me get your number. Let me get your number. Let me get your number. Like it works.
They love it. You know what I mean? And I've implemented a lot of the things, and so I've learned a lot too. You know what I mean? And and I love it because we always students. You know what I mean? And that's what's good when you're around and you have a group of people, you have a team of people, and everybody is elite at what they do. You're supposed to be able to pick up things from everybody.
You save so much money. You save so much money by being around qualified people in their respective fields. All you got to do is be a fly on the wall. All you got to do is have a conversation, and you save so much money by going to, other sources. When you have a source yourself, whether it is a more cheaper source or, like a discounted or bartering, whatever. But the point is you if you have it within your wheelhouse, you should use it, so.
There you go.
I do.
There you go.
I do.
Well, listen, we can't end on nothing better than that. Appreciate you for coming to the strategy room. We out of here.